I have Ashish Raghute, the Senior Vice President of Digital Infrastructure at Allied Digital. The global digital infrastructure market is expected to top $360 billion with a projected CAGR of more than 24% to the end of the decade. Meanwhile, the global data volumes are projected to hit around 175 zettabytes, and the digital transformation market could reach up to $6.8 trillion by 2032.
We are all aware that last decade was all about collecting a lot of data. We had sensors all over the place, the data size was exploding, and with data, the insights were becoming more and more challenging to produce. With AI, we see a big improvement. With this technology, the data can be all digested into a certain form with neural networks, and it can assist the humans in their tasks. There are terms like co-pilot that are being used, terms like wingman, So the whole idea is now we can delve into the power of AI and utilize all the valuable data that we have now successfully captured and are in the process of capturing ongoing, and utilize the power of AI to very quickly get the meaningful information and actionable insights from the data.
Allied Digital has an AI-based ITSM platform, which is Digital Desk. So can you give our viewers some insight on this?
In our digital desk, we are now supporting close to 1.5 million assets globally. And we are very proud that we are not only meeting the SLAs, we are exceeding them with the help of AI. At the same time, we are also passing back the efficiencies and cost savings to our customers.
It is such a crowded market out there. So what is the USP of Allied Digital? What separates Allied Digital from other firms?
I think we are big enough to matter and small enough to be agile. So our decision making is very decentralized. We are a very flat organization, and we sometimes also call ourselves global organization. So we are global and local. Okay. So we do not sit in a silo away from our customers and work there, but we work alongside the customer everywhere. So that philosophy, I think, that gives us a very unique success rate, being close to the customer all the time.
You want to give any message to upcoming tech leaders in this AI-driven world?
Yeah, stay excited, stay hopeful, try not to get distracted with any talk about how AI or technology is going to create issues for human beings, because we are all responsible humans, and we have the ability, which I have a lot of faith in, to avoid the unfavorable situations.
Welcome to the hub where innovation thrives. Tech Talks by Allied Digital keeps you updated. Cloud and infra, the backbone we create. Cybersecurity and networking, securing every firm. Digital engineering, where innovation thrives. Workplace and software transforming working lives. Leaders share their vision, their roadmap, the way. Unlocking the future, redefining today. It's knowledge in motion, tech driven and bold. Let's start the episode of Tech Talks by Allied Digital.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Tech Talks. I am Romil Dodhiwala, your host. And in this episode, we have something very special. We are going to do a deep dive into the trending stuffs, which is digital infrastructure, agile innovation, and the favorites of all, which is artificial intelligence. To help me discuss all these things, I have Ashish Raghute, the Senior Vice President of Digital Infrastructure at Allied Digital. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in for this show.
And thank you, Romil. I'm very excited to be here, and I look forward to a very insightful conversation on these interesting topics.
Amazing, amazing. So it's actually an honor to host you. And to just set the stage for this, I would like the viewers to know certain statistics about. So by 2025, the global digital infrastructure market is expected to top $360 billion with a projected CJPR of more than 24% to the end of the decade. Meanwhile, the global data volumes are projected to hit around 175 zettabytes, and the digital transformation market could reach up to $6.8 trillion by 2032. So again, this is some very big numbers, and to set this bigger picture, Ashish, the AI revolution is going on a breakneck speed, and I would like to know from this particular statistics and what's happening in the market, why AI is such a strategic enabler for the industry and Allied Digital in the first place.
Absolutely. So we are all aware that last decade was all about collecting a lot of data. We had sensors all over the place. The data size was exploding, and with data, the insights were becoming more and more challenging to produce because of the ability of computers to crunch so much of data and then translate that into a very meaningful and actionable insight. With AI, we see a big improvement. With this technology, the data can be all digested into a certain form with neural networks, and it can assist the humans in their tasks. There are terms like co-pilot that are being used, terms like wingman. So the whole idea is now we can delve into the power of AI and utilize all the valuable data that we have now successfully captured and are in the process of capturing ongoing, and utilize the power of AI to very quickly get the meaningful information and actionable insights from the data.
Interesting, totally interesting. My team has been doing some research, and they have come across that investments in AI has reached an estimated $165 billion in 2024 itself, and by 2030 AI could contribute up to $15.7 trillion to the global economy. At the same time, nearly 80% of the organizations report AI using in at least in one of the business functions. So I also know about that Allied Digital has an AI-based ITSM platform, which is Digital Desk.
Yeah.
So can you give our viewers some insight on this?
Yeah, absolutely. So in the space of IT, Allied Digital is a very important player because a lot of our customers depend on Allied Digital for efficiencies and for guaranteed uptimes, performance. So we have to be in the forefront of AI benefits and pass those benefits back to the customers.
Correct.
So the digital desk, we have come up with a lot of very innovative features such as chatbots. These chatbots never sleep. They don't take a break. They are always available, and they are trained to resolve complex issues. So here the idea is all about shift left, decreasing the human dependency on mundane tasks. Wherever there is predictability, wherever there's data, deploy the AI agents and allow the human workforce to work on more strategic tasks. So in our digital desk, we are now supporting close to 1.5 million assets globally. And we are very proud that we are not only meeting the SLAs, we are exceeding them with the help of AI. And at the same time, we are also passing back the efficiencies and cost savings to our customers.
Interesting, very interesting. So, in one of the previous podcasts, we had our CTO Sunil Bhatt, and he mentioned about having a model called as Hub and Spoke 2.0.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, if you can share more details about this particular model that Allied Digital has implemented globally.
Yeah. So this model requires a lot of optimization. So it is all based on operations research, and we have a very complex business of parts logistics. For our global customers, large automotive companies that are everywhere all over the world, and typically automotive companies have a lot of spare parts, and managing the inventory with the objective of decreasing the downtime, or maintaining the response time and the resolution time. It all depends on how optimally you distribute your forward warehousing, and using hub and spoke models, and those can be extended all the way to the last mile.
Yeah.
And then keeping track of how the consumption of the parts goes on. And AI plays a very big picture both in design of these networks, where you can optimize the material flow and speed up the times based on multiple constraints and multiple levers. At the same time, you are also replenishing the inventory automatically with AI utilization. So the 2.2 hub and spoke model that we have is a state of the art, and it has already proven to our global customers that a lot of efficiencies can be brought into the whole parts management.
Interesting, very interesting. So Ashish, one of the key questions that I had is that many organizations are, they always struggle to move beyond experimentation and move into real AI usage. So in this, would like to know, how does Allied Digital help clients break this quagmire between cutting edge technology and practical use cases?
Absolutely. AI can become very overwhelming, particularly when organizations are about to start. There are pressures because of what peers are doing, what are the news coming out, and CEOs and CFOs are constantly under pressure from their board, from their shareholders about what they are going to do with AI. And such quagmire gets created when the objective is to quickly accelerate adoption of AI, but at the same time, the workforce is not ready. They cannot envision like what would be the most powerful use cases of AI. So this is where organizations like us, they co-create the solutions along with the customers, because we have a lot of experience of successfully delivering use cases with AI. So what we do is we adopt a MVP, or the minimum viable product approach. And with that, we focus on the most resource intensive tasks in a customer's business. And then we create phase by phase agile approach. So we don't want to take up a very large project that doesn't get done for significant amount of time. And in the process, the business processes change. Sometimes the customers start losing interest or losing confidence in the process. So instead, we focus on taking one use case at a time or a couple of use cases at a time, do a very short 6 weeks to 12 weeks kind of an implementation of that and prove it out, and then move to the next task. So that chunking up of business processes and enabling critical business processes based on prioritization, I think that has helped our customers quite a bit. So one example I'll cite, there was an organization that is doing the traditional car repair. They are like a car body shop, chain of car body shops. And the process is very labor intensive. When a damaged car arrives to the body shop, there are many manual processes. There are experts who look at the car. They come up with what kind of repair codes are necessary to fix the car. They also have to look at what are the guidelines from that particular manufacturer of that car, and on how the repair should be done. And sometimes it is not advisable to repair a particular body part and instead replace it. So a lot of this decision making goes into coming up with a work order, which requires the repair codes and part list. And then, of course, after that, then there's a follow-up process of generating a work order, getting it approved from the insurance company, and then finally doing the repair. So this body shop, they actually greatly benefited from some of our workshops that we did together based on design thinking. And we basically came up with idea generation. And then we focused on this particular challenge, which was putting computer vision, putting some AI-enabled cameras, and then training the cameras to recognize the most common sort of damages, and then come up with automatically generating that whole work order, and then filing the work order with the insurance company.
Interesting. This is actually very, very interesting, because I believe the same type of methodology is used in smart cities as well, where we have AI-enabled cameras and detecting all the accidents, and we are training them for the same. Please correct me if I am wrong.
That's very, very true. So the computer vision is one, a very powerful image processing and video processing part of AI that we are utilizing in many areas, such as license plate recognition and traffic issues and traffic accidents. So there is no limit to how we can optimally train the AI engine to do decision making on behalf of humans.
Interesting. So you mentioned about this example, but behind this example that you gave, of course, there is a very agile methodology. So would like to know what agile methodology Allied Digital implements in its digital infrastructure and AI.
Yeah, our the whole idea is to continuously be in contact with the consumers of technology. So it is not like you take the project, you move away from the end users, and then you develop something and then bring it back at a after a while, and then have them test. That is very traditional sort of a project management. Instead, what we do is we co-develop the solution, co-create the value along with the customers. So example of that, there are, when we take a business process, the business process can be given to AI and to speed it up. While we do that, there is always a buy versus build, and there is always some investment that the customer has made into their technologies. So, for example, if a customer is a Microsoft shop, they have access or possibly access to various co-pilots that come with Microsoft.
Yeah.
So the solution, we had to co-develop, making sure that we use the components that are already there, so that we don't waste any investment that is there, and we don't have to build certain things if they already exist. We consume them. So a lot of those build versus buy decisions come into place, and then together with complete involvement from the customer, we build a solution that doesn't deviate far away from what is required. So it's like it's more of a daily kind of scrums, and then checking where we are going and making adjustments until we deliver it.
Interesting. So Ashish, one of the key questions that I always keep on thinking is that Allied Digital has such a global presence, with presence more than in 70 plus countries, and it is such a crowded market out there. So what is the USP of Allied Digital? What separates Allied Digital from other firms?
I think we are big enough to matter and small enough to be agile.
Wow.
That's how I put it.
I would like to quote this in the upcoming quotes of big enough to matter, but small enough to be agile. Very, very nicely said.
So our decision making is very decentralized. We are a very flat organization, and we sometimes also call ourselves global organization. So we are global and local.
Okay.
So we do not sit in a silo away from our customers and work there, but we work alongside the customer everywhere. So that philosophy, I think, that gives us a very unique success rate, being close to the customer all the time.
Interesting. So is this because of the innovation culture that you have imparted in your team and Allied Digital as a whole? If you can share some light into the innovation culture that you are bringing in.
Yeah, I will underline the culture part, right? So basically, all solutions need to be firmly ingrained into the reality. And culture is different in every location. Every country, every region has got priorities, the way of work, the discipline, the do's and don'ts. And if you are aware of, very closely aware of what works in the region, what does not, I think that makes a big difference in how your solutions succeed or fail.
Interesting. So can I say it's more like scale without culture is more like a factory, but scale with culture is a festival. And what Allied Digital is doing is having a festival of development across the globe.
That's excellent way of putting it.
Interesting. Talking about the real world impact where especially AI has only been deployed, is there any example that you can give? Like, the customers initially had a bit of a question, like whether the AI will be able to solve their problems or no. But later, in a small way, you started putting in, and then eventually the trust built on, and how this entire journey went, if you can share that.
Yeah, absolutely. Customers like to hear success stories where we ourselves are consumers of AI, and we have done that with a lot of success. For cost pressures, they like to work with partners who are already efficient. They have made efficiencies in their own organization. Nobody wants to bring in a service provider who has not eaten their own dog food. So I think what we did was we focused a lot on our own operations. So we took our entire operations, internal, that are customer related and also non-customer related. And we came up with a very, very systematic plan of AI adoption in our own organization. And we have been like extremely successful there. So for example, our NOC, which resolves complex digital infrastructure issues 24/7, their major KPI is response time and resolution time. And in both these areas, AI plays a key role. So our response time, because AI never sleeps, it is always listening to our alerts, it's always trying to separate noise from the real data and respond to the tickets in the most meaningful manner, sometimes making decisions as who should this ticket be routed to right away. So that helps a lot. That cuts down a lot of waste of humans reading documents, etc. The second part is the resolution time. For resolving complex issues, there are a lot of documents that a typical service provider like Allied Digital has to follow, and in any kind of ticket resolution. So, for example, a typical infrastructure issue has run book that is associated with that, which tells what needs to happen before solving the problem, such as taking backups, what happens after solving the problem, such as testing thoroughly, and then letting the all stakeholders know about it. It also has escalation lists, such as who needs to be notified. Now, these are highly rule based. Certain customers will come up and say that, okay, if it is before 2 p.m., then call gentleman A. After 2 p.m., call someone else.
Correct.
And they will also say that if it is a Friday, don't call. Instead, send a text. So all these have to be followed, and we making the real time determination of how the information should flow takes time. Then there are technology guidelines, there are manuals with ever-changing technology, such as new patches coming into picture, new features coming into picture. The digital infrastructure itself being very dynamic. There's a lot of documentation that needs to be referred. And there is no magical way to speed up that process. You still have to depend on computers. You have to go into navigate a tree structure of files, whether it is SharePoint or any other knowledge repository.
Correct.
You have to open those files and you have to read the content. You have to understand and act on it. So what we did was we used the power of AI. We fed all these documents into our vector database. And once they were all vectorized, with a proper AI engine, an LLM that we referred to, we were able to bring all that information at once in front of our resolvers. And that on an average cut down something like 10 to 15 minutes for resolution of a ticket. And those are the critical 10 to 15 minutes that every customer is getting back.
And you have millions of tickets, and from there, every single ticket you are reducing 15 to 20 minutes.
So if you do the math, that is probably the most impressive use case in our business. And when we take use cases like this with success stories to the customer, they instantly know that this is the right partner, and I'm confident that they can be my guide in making my business efficient as well.
Interesting. So this is of course after the implementation, but during the implementation phase, as you said, it's a very complex picture. So how do you measure success, as in how the development is going on?
Yeah, as I said, we chunk the whole problem into manageable size, and we also follow the philosophy of fail fast, right? So because right now there is no precedence in a lot of implementations of AI. So there is a theory, then there is basically that they can be my guide in making my business efficient as well.
Interesting. So this is of course after the implementation, but during the implementation phase, as you said, it's a very complex picture. So how do you measure success, as in how the development is going on?
Yeah, as I said, we chunk the whole problem into manageable size, and we also follow the philosophy of fail fast, right? So because right now there is no precedence in a lot of implementations of AI. So there is a theory, then there is basically, you are embarking a path for the first time. So we are 100% aware that what we try may work or may not work. And so the idea is that you have to fail fast and move on to the next option until you succeed. And of course, once you succeed in that particular architecture, then all similar business problems can be solved utilizing that reference architecture. But getting there, there is no shortcut. You have to try multiple things very quickly and then figure out, what is a successful route there.
Interesting. So, Ashish, with this, because of so much of development that AI is pushing, one of the key questions that majority of the people that I've also interacted comes down to ethics and the job loss because of the implementation of AI. And so I would like to know what's your viewpoint on this. And second is, how is Allied Digital managing this?
Yeah, with AI, there is a lot of optimism. So there is a lot of growth that we are seeing. We are seeing how companies are giving better reports all over the world. So with all the time that is freed up from the AI and all the decision making that is becoming more powerful, there is a business growth that AI is fueling. And whenever business grows, it requires more people. So I think it is sort of a self-feeding cycle, which has a potential to actually give a higher quality jobs to humans as you adopt AI. That's my optimistic way of looking at it. There are people who have different views, but we in Allied Digital, because we are a growing organization, we feel that the power of AI is wonderful, and we have not slowed down our hiring, as you can see.
Yes, totally.
So because we are able to deliver better products, higher quality value to our customers, we are getting more customers. And in the process, the people who are now freed up to do other tasks, they are available for the new customers.
Got it. So basically, it's just AI is just ruling out the mundane tasks and freeing people so that they can focus on more important strategic tasks.
Yes. So it is all about automation. Automation is not new to the industry. AI-based automation is what is the difference right now.
Got it.
And it is more effective. But since automation fueled our growth all these years, I don't see why AI automation will be any different.
Are there any certain ethical principles that is always there whenever Allied Digital implements AI for any of their clients or internally as well?
Absolutely. One has to be very careful about how the LLM or your AI model behaves. And there are documented cases where AI went haywire and with hallucinations, with unethical kind of decision making. So it is all based on how it is trained primarily, and the training data is massive. So there is always a possibility that AI may not be always guarded. So what we had to do is our testing has to be very thorough, and we need to put guardrails in various prompts that we do, or if there is any unacceptable outcome that comes out of your AI model, we have to fix that right away.
Interesting. So now let's move to the next segment of this show. So thanks to our viewers, we have received a few questions from our listeners that they want me to ask you. So one of the first questions that has come in is, what's your view on multi-cloud versus hybrid cloud?
It's a very interesting question. So I'll just quickly point out the difference between the two. So multi-cloud is basically you have all your infrastructure running in some kind of cloud, and you have a combination of clouds hosted by various providers. So that is multi-cloud versus hybrid cloud, which is you have certain infrastructure still running in your own data centers, and you are not paying by the subscription-based pricing. And then you have extension of your data center, which is on-prem, into the cloud. So that with that difference, I think both have their own merits. We have seen that sometimes there's a lot of data growth in clouds and the budgets go out of control. And then with your FinOps, you can figure out that certain data can be moved back into your data center. So there's a lot of trend around that. data is moving back into data centers as well. And then for benefits of your scalability and redundancy and all that, certain data can stay in the cloud. So that is how the hybrid clouds are working out. The multi-clouds are always good because you are not putting all the eggs in one basket, and you have portability in your design. And if one cloud provider and their pricing plans become unfavorable for your business, you have an option to not get locked in and move to a more favorable provider. So we see constantly movements happening back and forth between clouds. When Oracle clouds gets popular, sometimes Azure works better for you. Sometimes it is Amazon. Sometimes VMware cloud. So you basically keep your options open with multi-cloud approach.
Got it. Very interesting. We have another question coming in from one of the entrepreneurs in San Diego. He asks, how should small and medium-sized enterprises adopt AI without massive budgets?
Very good question. There is a massive AI ecosystem that is growing all the time. And as we speak, there are new solutions coming to market. And there's very bright entrepreneurs who are floating solutions focused on an industry or focused on particular use cases. So I would like to encourage them to look what is there. It's not always, that build is better than buy. Sometimes it is better to buy something that is ready, start getting benefits, and then once you realize the benefits or reach a certain scale, you can always look at building that solution in-house.
Another one coming in from UAE. What is the biggest AI myth you would like to debunk?
The biggest AI myth would be that AI can take over the human race, right? So there are a lot of science fiction and talk that is happening. But I think we humans have proven that whenever new technology came, we always maintained our superiority over the technology. So I'm pretty sure that's going to happen with this AI cycle as well.
Interesting. And I believe the last one is also coming in. What are your predictions for data centers in 2026?
Massive predictions everywhere, no matter how you look at it. So data centers are going to be the key for future of AI. There is a lot of innovation happening. Probably the most innovation today is happening is in the data centers. There is massive amount of power that is required, computing power. To fuel the massive amount of computing power, you require a lot of actual power. So there's going to be a revolution of nuclear energy and a lot of various sources of energy. So I think that's all going to evolve quite a bit in support of AI. The other thing that is also happening is how the chips work today. So there are a lot of companies in Silicon Valley focused on making the chips faster. And now once you run out of the CPU and GPU speeds, where do you focus? So it is a communication between various chips and transistors.
Interesting.
So the interconnects, a lot of optical technologies are taking shape there. So in the future, the chips will work much more faster because of they are also removing the latency between the data flows. And also when you have high density computing, the challenge of cooling comes into picture. And we are now in the era where it's not only liquids cooling your computers, but also there is possibility of having liquid cooled chips.
Oh wow!
So you will have actually built-in cooling mechanisms within the chips, which are like highly microscopic.
Wow.
So this is the most exciting whole infrastructure and hardware evolution that is going to be also driven by the whole.
Quite a prediction, Ashish. Love this. Liquid cooled chips is something that goes beyond my imagination as well. I'm pretty sure it's going to speed up a lot of things.
Absolutely.
Amazing. So now this takes us to our fun round, Tech and Fun Rapid Fire. It has been one of the favorites of our audience, and my team always pushes me like, please complete the podcast ASAP so that we can move to the rapid fire faster. Okay, so Ashish, you don't get a lot of time to answer this. You have to answer very quickly within a second of
I'll try my best.
Thank you so much. So the first question is, favorite AI-powered gadget at your home?
A coffee machine that figures out when I need the right dose of caffeine.
I believe it will also require that liquid power chip inserted into you so that it can detect
Yeah,
everything.
then I won't need caffeine that often.
For sure, for sure. Most inspirational tech book that you have read?
AI 2041.
Okay. One phrase you would put on poster about digital infrastructure?
Digital infrastructure is that invisible grid that is more important or as important as other critical grids like your power and water.
Oh, okay. Say, for example, if you weren't in this tech field, what you would be doing?
I'd probably be a chef.
Oh, wow.
It's all about ingredients, balance, accuracy.
Okay, interesting. So basically creativity and art where you will go
Right.
get into. One of the boldest predictions for 2030.
A lot of autonomous systems in picture, systems that would not require any kind of human intervention, whether it is supply chains, whether it is delivery, whether it is traffic management, whether it is cars talking to each other and figuring out the optimal resolution. So I think that's going to be the big benefit of AI. coming our
Interesting.
way.
So that brings to our conclusion session. And Ashish, this has been a very, very insightful session for everyone. I'm sure viewers have enjoyed this, and I hope that all the questions that you had posted have been answered by Ashish. Thank you so much for this. Ashish, the one last question that I would like to ask is if you want to give any message to upcoming tech leaders in this AI driven world.
Yeah, stay excited, stay hopeful, try not to get distracted with any talk about how AI or technology is going to create issues for human beings, because we are all responsible humans, and we have the ability, which I have a lot of faith in, to avoid the unfavorable situations. So I think maintain that enthusiasm and be successful.
Interesting. Thank you so much, Ashish, for this amazing Tech Talks. It's an honor. It was an honor to host you on this.
And likewise, I enjoyed it, Romil. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashish. And to my dear viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay curious and stay innovative. And one of the key messages is that future belongs to those who dare to build it. See you soon in the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you.